Blog Talk Radio.
Hello everyone, this is Lori Smith on Blog Talk Radio, and I am happy to be here tonight, Monday night, 9:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, Calgary, Alberta. That's where I'm coming to you from, and I'm happy to be here. I'm so excited about the show, and this is Child Abuse Prevention, and Human Rights Abuse Prevention is up to us, and I'm on for half an hour tonight. This is a live streaming Blog Talk Radio .com show, and if you're interested in phoning in, you're more than welcome to. I have a guest call-in number, and I'll give that to you. You can phone in with any questions you might have, or if you have a topic that you think you might do a listener some good, or some information, a website, or something you'd like to share with the listeners and myself, please do phone in. And that is the guest call-in number, area code 917-889-3736. And I'll be on for the next half hour here. It is a live streaming show, so if you do phone in, you'll be on the air. And my chat room is not, the little chat board is not working this evening. I'm not sure why. I've been having a little bit of technical difficulties for about a week now. I'm not sure why, but sometimes I can get in, it's no problem, everything's just working great, and then other times it's just not the case. So it's but when we are on and we're streaming, we are talking about some great stuff. So I have some interesting things I want to talk about tonight. Over the holiday, over the Christmas, I don't even want to call it the Christmas. I'm a Christian, so over Christmas and the beautiful season that it is, I was doing some research and just looking into some different websites that I had been just blessed to be shared with this information. And a friend of mine she has a website called Art by Lindy. That's www.artbylindalee and .com. I think it's .com. I'll have to check that out. But anyway, if you type in Art by Linda Lee, it'll come up, and you can go on there and check her website out. She's got some great art, and she is a survivor of child abuse, and she's really an inspiration to me. And I would hope you would go and check out her website and make sure you sign her guest when you go on. She actually told me about the child abuse monument that she was involved in. She got to do a handprint for this child abuse monument in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And I just thought this was so interesting. I went onto the web and checked it out and got some great information. It turns out that the child abuse monument, it's a monument to abuse victims and survivors, and it's a website also along with this actual monument, this bronze sculpture, and all done by abuse survivors. And the creator is Michael C. Irving, and he is a PhD psychotherapist and sculptor. So go on to the website and check that out. We're going to be talking about some stuff from his website. That's what we're going to do tonight. But first, I just wanted to mention the fact that I'm a volunteer for Dreamcatchers For Abused Children. And they are down in the States, and they also in the UK, and they're sort of branching out and spreading out. Now we're in Canada. That's awesome. And I'm so happy to stand with them and to represent what they do, which is to prepare the abused child's nightmare. And they are advocates for to raise awareness and prevent the prevention of child abuse. And I tell you, I stand with them. I love the work they do, and I really hope that you will go onto the website and check out the work that they do day in and day out. They are two moms on a mission, and they are working so hard to spread awareness and to really bring healing into people's lives that have first saw their website. It really brought tears to my eyes. Here are two women that are reaching out to people just like myself who are still dealing with the issue of an abusive childhood and like growing up in a home that was just kind of violent, and there just wasn't a lot of love. And so I love what they do, and I stand with them and support them, and I hope that you will too. And I'll give you that information. That's Dreamcatchers For Abused Children, and they are you just type that right in there at dreamcatchersforabusedchildren.com. They're also on myspace.com/abused_children. They're on Twitter. They're on twitter.com/abusedchildren. They're on linkedin.com/dreamcatchers. See, if I would have had my chat window up, I would have been able to get this information. I would have been able to put that on there for you. But that's okay. I don't mind reading it out. And then YouTube. They also have a youtube.com/user/abused children. So you can just start typing in Dreamcatchers for Abused Children and bring up their website, and you can get all their information, where they're at. They're on Facebook. They're just everywhere. And in their mission, I'll just read that out, quote, the mission is to educate the public on child abuse signs/symptoms, statistics, intervention, reporting, prevention, and to assist victims and survivors in locating the proper resources to help achieve and enable a full recovery. And so I suggest if you're out there and you're suffering right now from any kind of abuse, whether it be domestic violence or child abuse, if you're an adult survivor, and you need to find some resources for adult survivors. There's information out there, and I have been looking and searching, and what I've come up with is just the fact that there is so much information out there, and all you have to do is make sure that you do not sit and suffer in silence and suffer unnecessarily by yourself. I didn't reach out to people around me until I started my blog talk radio program. And like I said, you're welcome to phone in. I'll give you my number again. You can phone in with questions, or if you want to tell your story or share some information, what you might have found helpful in your walk, from post-traumatic stress disorder or different things like that, you're more than welcome to phone in. And my guest call-in number is 917-889-3736. And I'll be on here for about another 20 minutes. And I just got involved because I'm very interested in child rights and human rights and child abuse prevention and abuse prevention of all types. And so I thought about, because I grew up in the home that I did, and I love my parents and I love my family, but it doesn't excuse the fact of what it doesn't. The truth is the truth. And so I thought, it was just in my heart that I wanted to and I just had never done it. And I saw a program on TV that just pushed me to stand up and say, enough is enough. And I want to get involved, and I want to raise my voice, and I want to raise my, just stand up for people who cannot stand up for themselves and be a voice for those who cannot raise their voice. And sadly for the victims that are gone now, but really to be a voice for those survivors and for the people who are going to be fighting this issue. As we know that child abuse is epidemic, and it is epidemic proportions around the world, not just around the world, other like third world countries, a lot of people think, but right here in our own cities and right here in our own towns, it's being covered up, it's being pushed under the rug, and it's got to stop. Without public awareness, it's never going to stop, because the perpetrators get away with it, and the abuse victims are their lives are threatened a lot of times, or they're just battered so badly that they, for so many years, that they feel that they've been really programmed to not say anything. And I tell you what, if you're in a situation right now and you're being abused, make sure you get the help you need. Dial 911. I don't care. You don't have to be looking up a bunch of numbers if you don't have time. Get yourself some help. Get out of the situation right now. I've talked to some people, and I've actually met some awesome friends who just recently who've told me their stories about how they got themselves and their children out of an abusive situation and away from an abusive partner. And so, whether you're a man or a woman or a child, it doesn't matter. Do not suffer with abuse. You deserve to have a good life. And you could save your life, your own life, by getting out. And if you have children, you can save your children's lives. Make sure you don't take that lightly. Make sure you know those kids are counting on you. And if you're in an abusive home and your partner, whoever it is harming your children, you owe it to them to get yourself some help and get them out of the situation that they're in. You owe it to them. You must do it because it is the right and the only thing to do. So that's what I got to say about that. Contact me if you need anything. I'm at area code 917-889-3736, and you can go on and you can actually, if you can't get a hold of me during the show, whatever reason, there's a little spot where you can leave comments, and you can put anything you want in there. You can just put a little note for me if you need to chat. You can let me know how to reach you, because I tell you what, I'm here to stand with you. And what I thought we'd talk about tonight is, because I know myself, I'm coping, and I'm still coping. And things can happen in a person's life. Obviously, we know life happens. And things can really stress you. As a person growing up in an abusive home, I grew up stressed out, always stressed as a child. And then my parents were always stressed out, so there was always tension and it was a stressful life, really. And so I don't handle some things very well. Some things I handle great, and other things I just find sometimes it can just push me to where I can't almost focus. And I thought, wow, there has to be something out there that a person can do just to try to help themselves focus and get things done that they need to get done, and get back on track to feeling good and feeling all right. And I thought, I know there is. Well, I found it on that Child Abuse Monument website, so that's why I'm really promoting people to go there and check it out, because under self-care, that's www.irvingstudios.com/Child Abuse Survivor Monument. So all you have to do is type in either Irving Studios or Child Abuse Monument. It'll come up, and you can find that website right away. And it's there's a little button at the top, and it says self-care. And there was underneath of that, there were some interesting information for adult survivors, and that's what I was interested in looking at. And they had, this is Michael C. Irving. He is a psychotherapist and a sculptor, PhD. He has created some personalized coping lists, like for people who, like myself, a list of things to kind of help you get through the times that are rough, right? If you're just having a bit of extra stress in your life, like, whatever comes up, health issues, or maybe, a job loss or whatever, just things that could come up that could cause extra stress. There's things that we can do. And I thought I'd share that with you tonight, because I didn't know this myself, and I just wondered, I thought, how many people out there like myself might not know this. So that's why I'm passing this information on to you. And I hope you find it helpful. And what I thought we'd do is just go through some of the more important lists. There's 4 different lists. The last ones were more important to me. The last one was managing stress, and I find right now I'm really stressed out. My sweetheart's not well, and I've just got some other issues going on in my life right now that have just kind of caused me to feel a little bit of extra tension and just not comfortable, and it's just the pressure's on, but we are survivors, and we can do this. And that's why I'm walking this out with you, because I really want to be sort of, not an example, but to stand with you. And as we walk together, we can learn this stuff, and we can figure it out, and we can make it and survive. And that's the whole issue. It's a one day at a time thing, and we have to walk it out, and we have to walk the steps to healing. It is going to take time. It does take time. It's not something that just happens overnight. And it's taken me years, and I'm not going to give away my age, but it's taken me a very long time to get where I am today. But I think you can get there a lot sooner if you reach out, and I would like to promote that. I'm not a legal counselor. I'm not a counselor of any kind, and I don't have any degrees in counseling, and I'm not able to give legal advice or anything like that. And I'm just strictly just a survivor on the blogtalkradio.com, just trying to be a support system for people out there, because I know what it's like to suffer. I know what it's like to feel like you have no other choices and no other options than just ending it. I know what it feels like to be on the brink of darkness, of complete destruction. So I'm willing to tell, just to share with you what I've found really helps me out, and that is just by staying with it every day. And these lists, I think these coping lists will really they make sense to me. This I'll read right from the page. This is from www.irvingstudios.com. So it's not my stuff, it's his stuff. It's Michael C. Irving, and he's a PhD psychotherapist. He says, releasing stress is a normal life activity. Whether conscious of it or not, we are doing something to drain away our life tensions every day. When these activities are skipped, people feel stressed. Stress relievers often involve some form of physical or mental exertion or a pleasurable leisure activity. While you are stressed out, there are activities that will release or reduce your stress. The actual activities that work for burning off tension are unique and idiosyncratic to each person. Wow, that's a big word. That's a really big word. It helps you to know which activities are your personal stress releasers. It is likely that when you are having a hard time, you are not altogether clear on what you should be doing to manage your feelings. See, that's how I'm feeling right now. Getting a coping list written out is a starting point for helping yourself feel better. Remember to vary what you do to burn up tension, and also recognize what your most effective stress reducers are. That's what he said. And so we're supposed to remember to vary up what we do so that it doesn't become routine, and we're supposed to recognize what works most effectively and actually keep track of that. So the list is number 3, and it's called managing stress. And I just thought I'd just read a few of these out. Make yourself a list of what to do to relieve stress. And I thought, I'm going to do that. So here's the first one. Brisk exercise. Number 2, take a walk. Number 3, shout into a pillow. Number 4, write a note and tear it up. See, these are all really good. Write a note. You can write a note. Say whatever you want in that note, and then just tear it up. Throw Mr. Giggly against the door. Tear up paper. Rip up some paper. Pound clay. Paint or draw. Write angry letters, and then tear up the angry letters. See, that's the whole thing. You can write whatever you want and then just rip it up. So then you can get it out, right? You can let it go. Fold the laundry. Throw the socks at the wall. Listen to music. Chew gum. Talk to someone. Ride a bike, enjoy nature, throw a rock in the water, use your humor, build something, clean. That's just something I don't like to do. Take a sauna, whirlpool, or bath. Make your own personalized list. So these were just some suggestions for managing stress. Whether it's like taking a walk or talking to someone or writing a letter and telling someone off in a letter and then just tearing it up. But whoever this or whatever the issue is, getting mad and writing it down. I guess that's just a releaser to release it. And I think I'm definitely going to try a few of those things because that might help. I never really thought of that. That's the thing. There's so much good information out there, you just don't know until you see it or someone tells you about it, you just don't know. So that's why if anyone has anything to offer that you think that a survivor, like an adult survivor of domestic violence or child abuse or sexual abuse, any kind of survivor abuse issue, if you have anything you'd like to add it to the show, please be sure and phone in with your suggestions, or if there's something that I can do better or just more helpful, please let me know, because that's what this show is about. It's really just about getting some information out there so that we can all get some help and learn from this and grow and continue to grow and have a good life. And so the next one is on crisis, and this is what to do in a crisis. Now this is from Michael C. Irving Studios, just in case you're just joining us. Michael C. Irving is a PhD and a psychotherapist, and he's got a website, www.irvingstudios.com, and he is a sculptor and a psychotherapist, and he is the originator and the creator of the Child Abuse Survivor Monument in Toronto, Ontario. And I'd suggest you get on that website. There's some great information on there, and phone numbers and whatnot. Good stuff, lots of good stuff, and so many like poems and poetry from survivors, and it's just right. It's heart. They're talking about their abuse situations, and I'm telling you, you don't want to miss that. It's really something. It's really worth checking out. Really checking out what they have said, because these are people like you and me These are people like myself who, who've been to the pits of hell itself and are, working through it. And I just commend them. I just give them, I'm standing with them and just to be by their side, So what to do in a crisis? The following is the kinds of things that may go on, what to do in a crisis list. These are not presented as comprehensive lists, and they are not the right list for any one particular person, he says. It is important for you to come up with your own personalized coping lists, because, what works for one person obviously isn't going to work for everybody, right? Because we're all different. We have different feelings. And some people handle more stress better than others. That's a fact. And some people just were not exposed to such certain things, right? Certain horrific things in their life that that take longer or are harder to overcome. So that's why you don't want to be judgmental. Everybody has to come up with their own personalized coping list. So I really like what he has to say there. Managing a crisis, he says. Here, I'm reading directly from his page. What to do in a crisis is probably the most important list you can have. That's why I thought we'd kind of start with this one. I've got about. And if you want to phone in, you're more than welcome to. This is a live blogtalkradio.com internet radio show. And it's streaming live right now for about another 8 minutes. And you're welcome to phone in. Area code 917-889-3736. If you have something you'd like to add, or I don't have my chat room tonight because I couldn't get it to work, so I don't know who's sitting out there, and I just hope this show is helpful for you. So this list would be probably the most important to have because, if you're in a crisis, you don't want to have to be looking for you don't want to have to start making a list right in the middle of a crisis. So the whole idea is to write your list out ahead of time, right? When you are feeling overwhelmed, it is the most difficult time to know what you should do to stabilize. This is so important. Managing a crisis is about lowering the degree of suffering you are in and reconnecting with some form of empowerment and hope. You do not have to continue to suffer. And this is right from his page. The worst thing you faced was the original abuse, and you made it through that. Now you can find a way to manage the memories and flashbacks that occur. And turning to other people at times of crisis, or are important at times of crisis. It's got a little typo on the page there. You do not have to be alone with your despair. So what it says is using your personal ways of grounding and turning to other people are important at times of crisis. You do not have to be alone with your despair, he says. You can call a friend. If you don't have a friend, I'm just going to add this in. But he says support group member or therapist. If you cannot contact someone in your personal support system, he says call a crisis line, distress center, or help phone. Have help and crisis line phone numbers on your crisis list. So you just have them right there, right in front of you. So if you're having like a crisis, you know where that crisis list is. And all of a sudden, it becomes like, okay, I'm having a crisis. I can feel it. I can't breathe, or whatever the symptoms are that come up from having a crisis in your life. Often, you can't focus, and you're upset and crying, and maybe you can't breathe very well, and you're just sort of hyperventilating. Well, you know where your list is, so you can go get your list. And then it says, make sure you have your crisis lines listed on the page. And if you have a therapist or if you have a best friend who's your survivor buddy, right? I mean, I thought I had a survivor buddy, and then I got dumped. My best friend, just recently, a really good friend of mine kind of dumped me, right? It's unfortunate. We had a great relationship as friends, and I thought she was there for me and as a survivor, and then found out that she wasn't, and because she couldn't take my the healing process that I was in. So that can happen, I guess, and it's very sad. So, if you don't have someone in your life, then put down just some regular crisis line numbers out of the phone book, it says. He says here, look in the front of the phone book or check our crisis line listings page. So this way you'll have these numbers ready just in case, right? And it says one of the most important items on a crisis list is the directive to go back to the top of the list. This instruction, I love this. This is so good. This instruction is telling you there is hope and that you just need to review your crisis list another time to find something that will help you right now. And I love that. So I'm going to put together a crisis list right away, probably, tonight. And then by Wednesday, when I come back on Wednesday night, same time, 9:30, we can talk about this a little bit more. And maybe, if there's something you'd like to bring up, you can let me know in between, and we'll work that into the show. So, you manage a crisis by working towards grounding and getting back into the here and now. To ground and return to the present when you are upset. It's thinking about doing something about overwhelming feelings from the past. So you have to do something with these feelings, right? You have to put them in their place, right? It says feelings are managed by processing them and letting them go, by burning up enough stress associated with the feelings, by getting nurture and understanding that assists with healing and repatterning, or by finding some form of distraction. So you either have to get some nurturing, and if there's nobody around, which a lot of times, people's lives, there's just no one, if no one understands or whatever, so then you have to, you have to find a way to maybe just a form of distraction, something to take your mind off of it and move you on around it so that you can look at it from a different angle. Because it says feelings are managed by processing them and letting them go. So I guess this is really important, and this is good for me to learn too. So I hope this is helping you out. It says, these are each different responses, and they are each good responses. Of coping and healing strategies. A crisis can help clarify and bring to a head certain emotional issues and personality patterns that one avoids because of the severity of trauma and buried pain associated with concern. Therapy sessions or personal processing of issues can be a quite beneficial element of managing a crisis. So therapy sessions or personal processing of issues. A list of what you do in a crisis. You can put at the top of your list, phone my therapist, phone my friend, see my support person or sponsor. This is right off his list here. Breathe deeply. Count. I try to remember to do that myself. Count to 100. Remind yourself of your location, the time, and the date. Put a clock or calendar near you to help with being oriented. And look around the room. Find a comfortable or safe location. Go for a fast walk. Punch a pillow. This is off his page here. Remind myself of my accomplishments. Look at photo albums of good times. Make a therapy appointment and take a day off. This is from I'm just reading off of www.irvingstudios.com/child abuse survivor monument /crisis. And you can go on there under self-care and you can look. There's so much good information there. And I hope that you will go and check that website out. And also www.artbylindalee.com. And she's a survivor. She's a very nice lady. She's a Canadian, and that's not just why she's a very nice lady, because I support lots of people down in the States too. I'm from the States, so but she's just an awesome lady, and I'm so happy to be able to just to know about her, because she's an inspiration to me. And don't forget to go and check out Dreamcatchers For Abused Children's website, and that's you can just type in Dreamcatchers For Abused Children, and it'll come up, and you can just go and check out all their stuff. They have such great stuff. And you can download their free child abuse handbook. It's a free PDF download right from their site. And you can get phone numbers and hotline numbers. And if you're up in Canada, I've got some distress service numbers. Child abuse hotline 1-800-387-5437, and Children's Services Crisis Unit After Hours 1-800-638-0715. And this is here in Alberta. Canada. Crisis and Suicide Helpline Distress Center, 24 hours. This is a local number, 403-266-1605. Family Violence Information, 24 hours, 310-1818. And Kids Help Phone, 1-800-668-6868. And we've got about a minute left here. Calgary Women's Emergency Shelter. Get yourself some help, and if you have children, you owe it to them to get them out of that abusive situation. You owe it to them. You must do it. And their number, Calgary Women's Emergency Shelter, 403-234-7233. And I'm telling you, make sure you do get the help that you need. And I'd sure like to have you come on my show someday and say, look, I listened to you, and I went out and I got the help that I needed, and I'm now fine and well and on the road to healing, and then you can come and be on my show, and this is what I want for you, this is what I want for your life, and I just want you to be well and happy and to have a good life. We deserve it, and it starts with us. We're going to have to make that change. We'll have to do it ourselves. And so I hope you'll join me tomorrow morning, 5:30, for one child abuse survivor to another, and for 15 minutes, just a quick chat in the morning. And until then, take care, and I'll be back on Wednesday night, Wednesday and Wednesday night. Take care. Bye-bye.